Hello everybody, this is Brett and welcome to another episode of TopoRanger, and today we are back at the Susquehanna River because it is a beautiful day. It's going to be in the high 70s today and it's just a perfect day. I don't know how many days like this we have left here along the Susquehanna, so I've been trying to just get out on the river as much as I can lately for that very reason. We are a little upriver from where we were last time at Hill Island, the spillway. Today we are on the Hamilton group. It's Devonian in age, in between the Carboniferous and I think the Silurian. You had the Devonian, and it's mostly marine shale. So that's what kind of rock we're on today. We're also right by the world famous Rockville Bridge here, just above Harrisburg, which is down there. And the river is pretty wide here. We're gonna go up here. We're gonna see how far out we can get today. We got various things going on. We got a lot of people fishing. We got people in kayaks and boats fishing. Up here we also have the world famous miniature Statue of Liberty in, I think, what they call the Duncannon Narrows. And that, my friends, is my intro. Hey, look at this. This is not shale. That looks like diabase. It's got a remnant of a pothole. I don't think there are any more diabase exposures upriver. And that is a very good question. You know, we're now familiar with both the Conewago Falls and the Spillway Hill Island diabase sites, right? I'll have to look. I don't think there are any, but if that is in fact diabase, then there has to be some up there because there's no other place that could come from, right? Unless somebody trucked it up here and then dumped it next to the river, which I guess is possible. They could have been using it just for like fill or something like that. What the heck is that? All right, we got some kind of bubbling coming up from the river there. I don't know what that is, other than something to do with what's going on over here. It just looks like air bubbling up. I'll zoom in on the edit. That's weird, yeah, okay. It seems to have stopped. Here's a nice chunk of the shale. The Hamilton itself is like a group, and it's made up of, I think, 4 or 5 different formations. I think the bottom of which is the Marcellus. I think it gets as thick as 1,500 feet. But here it runs from just above the Rockville Bridge up to about where these outcrops stops. This island right here is the biggest one, so let's go to that one first. Oh, the bubbles are back. Mr. Bubbles, he's trapped in the river. The Rockville Bridge is actually the longest stone span bridge in the world, I think. If we get any trains going across, I can get a shot of that too. Looks pretty clear. I gotta go that way. Water's nice and cold. Oh, got a jumbo player here. And this shale is somewhat smoothed out by the water. You can see that surface right there. I don't know if we're gonna find potholes in this stuff though. It might not be the kind of rock that readily forms them. I am seeing a little flow channel right there though, you see that? Yeah, definitely. Do have one right here, I think. Just a small one. It's only about 1 foot across. Let's see what's up here. Got a little scrubland growing here. Oh wow. There you go, that's a nice, hey, look at that wood there. This kind of looks like a little bit like a, you know, but as you can see, it does weather in a different way than the diabase. This is Blue Mountain, which is kind of the edge of the Valley and Ridge province, and there's Little Mountain, and that is composed of this, meaning the Hamilton group shales run directly that way, right? That way is the Bloomsburg Formation, starts just above the bridge, And above us, I think it's called Trimmer's Rock, and that's Cove Mountain. So Cove Mountain loop goes there, loops back around, and actually that mountain you see in between here in the water gap, that is Cove Mountain as well, I think, because this ridge goes, loops back around. That's what they call Second Mountain. That's Blue Mountain. That's just the other side of Blue Mountain as it picks up and continues on. And that's Little Mountain, although that might be called something else on the other side, because you go from County, I think it's Perry, Dolphin. But that mountain or hill there, that's definitely right in line with the outcrop of this Hamilton group shale. Starting to get some waviness here. See that? That looks like a partial pothole. See that? It's nice and rounded. Of course, the mega floods came down here too. And when you think about the water that would have come down, it would have been very thick with sediment, sand, little cobbles, the whole way up to big boulders. So I wonder if the water of the mega floods actually was more like a soupy concrete, you know what I mean? If you ever watch videos of the desert flash floods, when you get sudden downpours in the mountains and then the water comes down, there's normally dry arroyos or wadis, I think they're called in the Middle East. And you see the leading edge of these floods, it's very thick and it's just filled with everything. Let's get off that log. But yeah, the water is just thick like concrete. You see how it is being weathered and worn by the water, but at least here it's resulting in a very different kind of shape, you know what I mean? Different shapes than what you could find on the diabase. Here is a little pothole right here. It's got little critters in it. All right, we got to go over there now. Let's see if we can get across here. So I got a nice weighted stick here to help me balance. Let's see if we can film going across this little divot here while not falling in. The water's nippy already. There we go. That guy's fishing over there, and he's slipping around just like I am. Here you can really see the bedding of the shale. It's breaking up into smaller bits. And this thing goes the whole way across. There's another guy there. Let's shoot for that island right there. And if the view looks good, we'll set up the tripod and the other camera and we'll get some shots. This stuff is slippery even when it's dry. Or maybe I need better boots. Slippery is this? Yeah. You can see the shale underwater too. depth is about mid-thigh. Oh, there goes the train over the bridge. Here's where I fall. There you go, see the train? So it looks like we have two, what I assume are diesel engines. Then you got these intermodal shipping containers stacked on each other, and they go up to 3 high there. There have been a couple times where high winds have blown shipping containers off the Rockville bridge and into the river. It happened twice. Alrighty. Just came across here. Trying to get to there. Scope out the situation. But check this out. So you can see the shale. It looks like it's vertically bedded or oriented, right? So as you go upriver, you're actually going up in time, or you're coming closer to the present. And as you go down, you're going into the pass. So we have the shale here. You see how this is bedded, and that's kind of bedded. And then look at that thing in the middle. You see that? This section right here. And you see how this is kind of bedded like that? There's that, and then you get that layer in between, and then you go back to this. So the question is, what is that? It was laid down at an angle, sandwiched in between these two. I mean, that's a good question. It seems like it has the same composition as this stuff. You can really see it. Boom. And it probably turns up over there. So we'll have to research that, figure out what that is. The water clarity is really nice up here. Gotta loosen up a little bit. Walking over these slippery rocks, it's like your body's naturally wants to get stiff, but I don't think being stiff is gonna help me balance. Some nice wildflowers growing out here. Watch the bark, ready? Boom. Holy. I didn't want to step on that. That could take me down. I give up, bro. Here we are. I'd say we're about a quarter of the way in. And I don't know what it does on the far side. But what I'm looking at here, it looks like you could really get quite far. You might be able to just go the whole way over the river here when it's at this level, which is 3.2 or 3.3 at the Harrisburg station. And we do have a nice little pothole here. I'm gonna set up the other camera and get a drink of water. All right, we got the camera set up. First thing I want to do is get a shot of the one and only Statue of Liberty in the middle of the Susquehanna River. The white Statue of Liberty, which is actually a miniature Statue of Liberty, which is actually still pretty big though. Let's zoom in. Where is it? All right, there it is, right there in the middle of the frame. There's a story behind it. I can't remember what it is right now. I read it once. I think it was a joke. It was a practical joke, and it wound up staying there. Don't quote me on this. And they had to go over there and fix it up not that long ago. But it's been there for, I want to say, since the 80s, possibly. And we got a guy fishing in a kayak coming right across the frame there, and that's looking pretty good from this side. All right, he is exiting stage left, so let's go ahead. I think they put it on top of an old bridge pier or something, because there are other ruins up there in the in that strait. Now you can go out to it. I know you can kayak out to it, and I know it is pretty rocky. There's lots of riffles and stuff up there. You might be able to walk out to it. If it's anything like this area right here, you know, at this level, there's a good chance you can just walk out to it. But I don't know. I have to do more research, because I do want to do that as an as a future episode. I want to say the pier plus the statue might be 40 feet. 40, somewhere between 30 and 50 feet high. And when the mega floods came down through Cove Mountain and Second Mountain, it might have backed up. So right now, just imagine a 50-foot high wall of water filled to the thickness of like soupy concrete with all kinds of boulders and rocks and stuff, and it just comes over and boom, it just, that thing's gone. And this thing is just advancing across the landscape like a war machine, scouring liquid sandpaper, or like the grit, with a really, really big grit. Great, now we're looking downriver. Let's go over to the Dauphin County side and see if we can't see those ruins. Now I got the glare in my eyes, so it's hard for me to see the screen. I think that's it though. I think those are the ruins right there. And they are in a state of advanced decay. And there's the boat launch that I parked at. And it was busy today. I got the last spot, basically. Got some big trees on that island. Let's get some more fishing footage. That might be that same guy out there with his kayak. But now he's gotten out, he's on foot. And we do have a train now coming over the other way. And that is 2 engines as well. Then these are like single shipping containers. Now we got 2 people kayak fishing. One off to the left and then one off to the right. You should be able to see them moving. The one guy's pulling his boat along. I think he's trying to get up to the top of that riffle. There he is. You should be able to see both of them now. So it looks like he's almost there. Oh, look, and we got another boat in the background there. Hey. That one's way over on the dolphin side, though. It looks a lot closer on the screen than it does in real life. That's that flattening effect. Here come the helicopters! It looks like a news helicopter, like a traffic eye in the sky type of situation. We got all of our shots. We got people fishing. Got some shots of the Statue of Liberty. Got some shots of the trains going across the Rockville Bridge. This is actually a cool place if you want to just get up to your knees or your waist. I'm not telling anybody to go swimming here, but this probably wouldn't be a bad spot because it's all rock. It's all rock ledge. Watch out for that because that's where the current is, but there's a big area here that's just, you know, waist deep, thigh deep, without any gunk. What I want to do now is I want to go over to that side, which means we're going to have to drive up there and then back down, because I want to see if we can get down to the river and check out those ruins, because they look pretty neat from the sat photography. But there's 3 of them right there, and I think there might be like a church or something up here we could park at and then just hike down. This is a great spot, obviously fishing, kayaking, if you like river wading. The level it's at right now, I can't speak to that, but up to here it's pretty shallow, not that hard. Do your own research. Looks like there's a boat put in right over there too. That might be a good spot. If you're on this side, it's called the B&T boat put in. It's right there, but it's right upriver from the bridge there. We came across this way, so let's go back a different way. Let's go back this way over to there. Boom. This is a little bit deeper right here. Right, so this is a little bit deeper, like waist deeper, and the current's a little bit stronger here. Let's see what it's like. It's too deep right there. Yeah, see, this whole channel is deeper. Oh, you know what? I forgot my balancing stick. In general though, this is easier to walk along than it was over there at the Canal Lock boat launch in Dauphin County, where the eel weirs were. The bottom is just not quite as like this. Gotta angle yourself. It's slick. I got my wet bag. A little bit deeper there, but I think we can make it right over to there. Once again, I'm glad I have my wet bag. This stuff is slippery. Maybe I spoke too soon about it being easier to walk here. Now it's getting deeper. I think I can make it though. Should I do an underwater shot? We got a chopper coming way down low. It's spraying something, probably some kind of insecticide maybe. All right, I gotta get out of here because it's coming down river. It's going across. Yeah, it's doing some kind of spraying. I don't want to know what that is. I don't want to be in the water when that stuff comes down. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm worried this thing's gonna... Oh crap, it's coming this way. Oh shit. What is it? What is that stuff? It's... Ah. Wow. How low that stuff. The wind's coming down this way. I don't want to be inhaling that. Look how low it is though. Not spraying now though. Maybe it ran out of whatever it was spraying. You can see the plastic tank stuck up to the bottom of the chopper. Okay. All right, let's see if we can get over to the other side. All right, we're down at river level here. We're just south of the bridge, but I saw that helicopter is here, and I got the Panasonic, so I wanted to see if I could get some shots of it. Now it seems to have disappeared. It was right here just a second ago. Lots of islands here. Huh. Where the... It's gone. I'm gonna try to drive up to the bridge because that's still a ways up there. I parked over here by the Pizza Hut. We got 2 trains going over the bridge at one time. I could have just parked here. This is the Rockville Bridge right above us. I think we can go down over here. Let's get across here without getting run over. And we should be able to come right up on those ruins. There they are, right there. Wait, here we go. Here's the... Yeah, this is what we want. Here we are here. Now I changed out of all my wet clothes and everything. So I'm not going to go in right now. But I wanted to see if it's possible to get over there. It looks pretty shallow here. I don't want to get wet, all muddy, but I got to get up out of here a little bit. There we go. All right. Want to get it? There we go. Now we're talking. We just came from right there. We were out on those rocks there. And here are the ruins. So these piers were built in the 1800s. There was a wood bridge there on top of the stone piers for a while. Then they had a metal bridge, like an iron truss bridge style. And then they scrapped that. Then they built the Rockville Bridge, which was done, I think, in 1902. And then the piers were just left to rot. I guess if they didn't knock them down, then the nature has taken its course. And this is all that's left, these 3, which are pretty well ruined. Yeah, we could definitely come back here and just wade right out there. That's going to wrap it up for this episode. Hope you had a good time. I know I surely did. Subscribe, ring my bell, all that stuff. This is Brett for TopoRanger, and I'll see everyone in the next episode.